Hello and welcome to our Music Oddcast. Today we're going to be talking about Morrissey and the conspiracy theory that he predicted the death of Princess Diana in his album The Queen is Dead. My name is Kendra.
I'm Olivia.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is our Music Oddcast, so take it away.
Okay. Stephen Patrick Morrissey was born May 22nd, 1959 in Lancashire. His parents, Elizabeth and Peter Morrissey, immigrated with his older sister Jacqueline shortly before his birth. Morrissey grew up in Manchester, which was a huge influence on his lyrics, specifically the Moors murders, his unpleasant experience at St. Mary's, where he was viewed as weird and unpopular and a loner. Morrissey spent that time reading, watching old films, and listening to music. He was a huge fan of the Irish author Oscar Wilde. He was also a huge fan of soap operas, specifically
Yes.
Coronation Street, where he sent a few scripts that were ultimately rejected.
What?
That makes me really happy to know that. I had no idea.
It's so funny how many people are like undercover soap fans.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Like, are there even any on TV still?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like, just a few?
Bold and the Beautiful.
Is that still a thing?
Restless. I think they did finally stop one of them, but there's...
I
Yeah,
feel
there's
like,
several.
what was the one that was like really weird and it had the guy who was like really short and the witch? I don't know. It was really bizarre.
Oh, Passion.
Passions.
Oh, I don't think I knew
I
about
remember
that.
watching that when I'd stay home from school. I was like, what the hell is this? It's so bizarre.
Also, like, The Price is Right is on right before whatever soap, and in the Showcase Showdown, one of the prizes a lot of times was like you get a walk-on like cameo on the soap opera. It's like coming up
Oh.
next.
Snap.
I just thought that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, he adored pop music, post-punk, and later glam rock.
Excellent.
He was a fan... Oh, he started a fan club for the New York Dolls when he was 15, a British fan club. He found his love for female pop singers after looking into the influence of the Dolls. And after finishing school, Morrissey had a series of short-term jobs before eventually living off unemployment benefits. He spent this time writing and regularly attending shows. After meeting guitarist Billy Duffy in the fall of 1977, the two started playing together in the Nosebleeds. They co-wrote and performed songs locally. After the band broke up, Morrissey briefly joined Slaughter and the Dogs with Duffy before the band moved on without him.
Wow. I had no idea about that either.
Yeah.
I've definitely listened to Slaughtering the Dogs. I had no idea Morrissey was in that band at any point.
I think he only recorded 4 songs with them.
Okay.
And then they went a different direction.
That's so
And they kind of
crazy,
became
though.
a studio band, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they were great, but like, wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Okay. He became friends with Linder Sterling. That is Linder. I didn't say that wrong. Who fronted the punk jazz band Ludus. Through Sterling, he became acquainted with Howard Devoto, singer for the Buzzcocks, and Richard Boone, who managed the band. Morrissey and his friend James Maker visited a lot of gay clubs around this time, and he attempted to make a career in music journalism. He wrote several short books at the time, including stories about the New York Dolls, as previously mentioned, and actor James Dean. And have you guys ever seen the movie England is Mine, based off the early years of Morrissey?
No. I
Okay,
haven't.
I just watched it. Not great, but it covers
Sounds
this
nice.
whole
Yeah.
time period because it's until he forms the band. Good actors in it. So, okay, so then kind of moving forward a little bit until he joins starts the Smiths. He originally met Johnny Marr in '78 after being introduced by mutual friends. Years later, Marr showed up at his doorstep asking if he was interested in forming a band. And he mentioned at the time that he was impressed by his New York Dolls book. Steve Pomfret, was the original bassist, but was soon replaced by Dale Hibbert. Morrissey chose the name The Smiths, saying that it was the most ordinary name, and it was time that ordinary people showed their faces. Yeah.
Oh, snap. It's legit.
Along with their own songs, they covered the Cookies' I Want a Boy for My Birthday.
The cookies. Sounds adorable.
Yeah, it does. He liked how the New York Dolls deliberately transgressed the norms or established roles of gender and sexuality in music, so they kind of tried to adapt the same thing to their band. The band recorded their first demo in August of 1982. Mike Joyce joined the band in 82 as the drummer, so they started playing live and submitting their work to labels. It all happened pretty quickly for him. Hibbert left the band at this time because he was unhappy with the band's perceived gay aesthetic. So Marr's friend Andy Rourke replaced him. After being turned down by EMI and Factory Records, Jeff Travis from Rough Trade Records, which is who they eventually signed with, agreed to put out their song Hand in Glove, which was released in 1983 and quickly caught the attention of DJ John Peel, which resulted in they recorded their live Peel session. And that got them their first interviews with some of the popular magazines at the time.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that also encouraged Rough Trade to sign them in 1983. So they released their debut album, Hatful of Hollow, in 1984. And some of the songs, well, at least it was kind of mentioned that this was the standout of the album. They played like mini movies, specifically Charming Man, The Night Has Opened My Eyes. So in 1985, they released Meat is Murder, where Morrissey took a huge stand against animal cruelty, which I guess was pretty
never
rare
stopped.
At the time. Yeah, I know he's a big
continues to intensify.
PETA guy.
I think one of my favorite Hard Times articles that they ever put out was, for anyone that doesn't know what the Hard Times is, it's a Onion-esque, like, fake news site that's funny. And it was like, Morrissey cancels trip to Whole Foods because they refused to not sell meat that day.
Well, one of my friends was working in an office that had, I guess, this kind of famous recording studio above it. And just like last year, Morrissey was going to be there. And so they sent out this memo to everybody in her office, which was a completely separate business. But, musicians would kind of like walk through that area to get to the upstairs. They sent out a memo about Morrissey being there that week, and like nobody was allowed to eat meat in their lunches or keep it in the building at all. They had this leather couch that they had to move out because he didn't want any type of animal product in the building.
Did they have to not wear leather shoes also?
Yep. No wearing leather, no wearing fur. No meat products. So I guess her company just decided it was a huge hassle, and they just told their office to work from home that day.
Not surprising.
Yeah. He even boycotted touring in Canada for a while because of the annual, which he called the barbaric seal hunt. So, and he wouldn't buy any goods from Canada for a while. He finally did tour again in 2018.
Morrissey, the only person that has a real problem with Canada.
I know, right? He also canceled an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel after finding out that the episode would also include guests from Duck Dynasty. So
I don't blame him.
Yeah, but probably for different reasons.
Right.
Also made some pretty horrific claims about China.
Yeah.
So calling them subspecies because of some of the animals that are
Practices and
Wow.
in there. So yes.
Yeah, I feel like every vegan I know is not a dick.
Yeah.
So it's like the extreme just kind of gives it a bad name.
I think he was probably encouraged to kind of use that a little bit. I don't know. He does take it a little extreme, but you wonder how much pressure is put on them sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's cool to have something that you're
condemning
definitely
a whole
standing up for, and the fact that he's famous enough, I guess, to have people not just be like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
When he's making these requests, good for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Not hating on any vegans out there, just so you know.
Yeah. I'm a vegan.
I have to say, I'm looking at one right now.
So after that, they had 2 lengthy U.S. tours, which was in 1985. The band started recording The Queen is Dead, but the release was delayed for a year and a half due to a legal dispute with Rough Trade Records. The band wanted to switch to EMI at the time because they felt like, Rough Trade just wasn't big enough to help them expand the way that they wanted to. But they still had they had a 4-record contract with them, so they had one more record to finish with them after this one. So they ended up having to hold off on signing with EMI. Marr's drinking at the time started to increase, and the rest of the band was feeling really burnt out and started drifting apart. One thing I did want to mention, he kind of had a strict rule about drugs and drinking while they were in the band and on tour, and even like sleeping around. He was celibate at the time, so it said that he thought it would keep him out of trouble and more focused on the music. All right, so Rourke,
like I can't really argue with that.
yeah. But Rourke did start using heroin, so he was fired from the band and replaced by Craig Gannon. He was quickly allowed back after he started dealing with his habit, and the band became a 5-piece, so Gannon started playing guitar for him, so they had a rhythm guitarist as well. And let's see. Okay, The Queen is Dead was viewed by fans and critics as their most successful album. And you start to hear about Morrissey having a rough relationship with Jeff Travis from the label. And on that album, The Queen is Dead, he wrote the song, Frankly, Mr. Shankly, about him. Oh, and another kind of interesting fact, since we're actually going to talk about this song in a little bit, he didn't want to include There's a Light That Never Goes Out on the album because he didn't think that it had, he didn't think it was strong enough and had enough appeal, which is funny because it's, one of their biggest songs.
I think that has something to do with, it's either that song or the song that follows it on the album. I can't remember, but there's like a weird fade out in the beginning. I think like they had said that they purposely like messed it up because they didn't want it to be recorded or didn't want it included on the album.
It's because it's predicting the death of Princess Di.
Of all the lyrical dissection, everything that they do on this website that I'm going to talk about, that one probably makes the most sense. So we'll go over that.
I have no idea about any of it. I've been conveniently in the dark about this website, so I cannot wait to hear about this.
Well,
all right. Oh well. So at the time, Marr decided to take a break in 1987 due to exhaustion. Media started rumors of the band splitting, and some actually assumed that Morrissey started the rumors himself. So Marr quit the band due to this. Said that he kind of wanted to pursue other avenues as well. Their album Strange Ways, There We Came was released 2 weeks after the band completely split, because after that they couldn't really keep it going. He didn't want to replace him. So then the band wasn't all in the same room together for 10 years, which in 1996, the members took Morrissey and Marr to court over a royalties dispute. Even though Morrissey and Marr wrote the majority of the music, the rest of the band wanted more than their promised 10% for playing on all the records. They wanted that increased to an equal 25%. So it was Rourke and Joyce. So they both settled out of court. Rourke settled for £44,000 and Joyce settled for £1 million because he actually pursued the case a little bit longer. So kind of the
one guy got screwed.
Yeah, I know. It was sad too because he was talking about how at the time, like he just got married and hadn't had a lot of financial luck at the time, so he really could have used the money.
Right.
But I do, it's hard to say because if you are writing the songs, maybe you do get a little bit more for that. I don't know. It's hard to say, but
I guess it just depends on the band.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Like, there's definitely some bands where I won't get into it. I guess, like, yeah, like the songwriting is very interesting band per band. Like, who actually contributes, who doesn't. Like, if it's autonomous or if it's just, like, one person that writes everything and tells everybody else what to play.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So I'm not going to talk about his, very long solo career because the song or the album that we're talking about is from, the Smiths and not just Morrissey's private stuff.
So I had a friend that mentioned to me one time, he was like, oh, on your podcast, you're going to, like, please tell me that you're going to do the Morrissey and Princess Diana conspiracy. And I was like, what are you talking about? So he sends me a link to this website that is outlining every coincidence, every possible connection between the Queen is Dead album and the death of Princess Diana, saying that Morrissey like predicted it. And yeah, it was kind of funny because when he like sent me the website, the little thumbnail picture for the link, it had like, it was like a little photo collage with like Morrissey and Princess Diana, and then there was Jane Mansfield, and I thought it was Anna Nicole Smith at first, like from a distance. And I was like,
Holy shit.
how is this gonna get, like, this is gonna be so great.
I never read into any of them Jane Mansfield stuff to see what that was.
Yeah, they kind of,
so
the way that that this website is set up, it's very like GeoCities Angel Fire-esque
1995 website.
Design wise. There wasn't a guest book though. I looked to see if I could maybe like leave a little note, but or like one of those counters.
3 years to set that up too, which is crazy.
That's amazing. I feel like it would take me 3 years to set up a website because I have no idea what I'm doing.
So yeah, he sends me this link. I kind of start going through. It is, I mean, it's got all these different subsections for like, it starts with the album cover, the inner sleeve, the different singles from the album, every song, lyrics, a lot of other extra. It's a lot. So, I did my best to kind of go through and just pull what was interesting or relevant or not too, long-winded. So the introduction that they had there was about how Morrissey and Johnny Marr met in 1978, as you had mentioned. They actually met at a Patti Smith concert on August 31st, 1978. 19 years later, on August 31st, Princess Diana was killed in a car crash.
The coincidence.
Oh, and that's just the beginning.
I feel like I'm just going to laugh a lot.
And also, I know that our listeners can't see this photo, but I'm going to show it to you guys and kind of try to paint a picture for you here.
We might post it on our Instagram or something.
Yeah, we could do that. So there's Morrissey and Johnny Marr when they first met. So Morrissey does not have his like signature, what is the hairstyle? I think it's called a quiff.
Yeah.
A quiff. It's like a pompadour, but more like
Oh, yeah.
out
Yeah.
front. Yeah. So he's actually got this kind of, he kind of looks like he belongs on the Replacements album cover for Let It Be, like kind of that like feathery big hair with like the bangs, kind of like Robert Smith, but like a little tamer.
Oh yeah,
that type of thing. And then Johnny Marr just kind of looks like somebody's Uncle Todd going to a NASCAR race in 1981. Like.
Also, so young.
Yeah. When they met,
14.
Maybe
15.
Oh, okay.
Maybe cousin Todd, not Uncle Todd.
Huh?
I said maybe since he's so young, it'd be like cousin Todd, not Uncle Todd.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's that photo. We'll put that up somewhere. All right, so yeah, I just kind of started going through each section. The first one was about the album cover. So the album cover was, the Smiths always had those album covers that were very similar. It was like kind of like the black and white photos of just random people, like portraits. Yeah. So the guy that was on the cover of The Queen is Dead is actor Alan Delon. He appeared in one film in 1986, the same year as the album, called Le Passage. I don't know. Le Passage. He stars as a character named Gene Diaz, which, spoiler alert, if you're going to watch Le Passage, in the movie he dies in a car crash. So their connection for this was it's the only film ever where he played a character whose name contains all the letters needed to spell Diana. And the first person to announce the death of Princess Diana, like on television, was a reporter named Alan Pavi. And they have kind of a weird Elaine, Alain, so it's like the same spelling for both of them. So that's the big connection with that. You had mentioned Jane Mansfield. They kind of a lot of people kind of draw some parallels between Diana and Jane Mansfield because they were both killed in car crashes, world famous women. They were around the same age. They were killed along with their boyfriend and their driver. Yeah. So, this website does, I swear at the end of every section it had some type of like it had like a section at the bottom that was repeating a lot of the same stuff, I feel like, about Jane Mansfield. So I did pull one of those connections, and it's also pretty long-winded. So like once I get through this, you guys will understand why I couldn't deal with outlining every single thing. So, all right, here we go. So the Susie and the Banshees song "Kiss Them for Me" is about Jane Mansfield. It was number 1 on Billboard's modern rock chart for several weeks and was preceded by the song "Get the Message" by Electronic, which was co-written by Johnny Marr. On the cover of the "Kiss Them for Me" single, Susie Sue is posed laying on a bed with her eyes closed, looking glam. It was similar to a pose in a famous Jane Mansfield photo. If you line up the inner sleeve of "The Queen is Dead," there's a photo of this Alan guy again where he appears to be like dragging a body. If you line it up with "Kiss Them for Me," it looks like he's dragging Susie, a.k.a. Jane, a.k.a. the connection with Diana.
Oh my God. I feel like it's like a repeat of like how the people that were like getting fucked with by the Church of Scientology were like finding the connections and everything. I feel like that's like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does sound similar.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
So the other thing with this website is I didn't really do any like fact checking with some of their claims, just because, I mean, you know, this is just what they believe is fact, and we're just talking about this website. So, you know, if you want to check those things on your own time, because I found this kind of like interesting little trivia. The Queen is Dead was the title is named after a chapter in the novel Last Exit to Brooklyn. The book begins with a Bible verse that's equating the death of man with the death of animals, and I guess Diana was actually buried on land that was used as a pet cemetery for a long time. So it's kind of tranquil, like she wanted to be like with the animals.
Oh my God. Now I'm just thinking of the book though.
I know.
Oh, the things that could have happened. No.
There's a remake of the movie coming out soon.
I saw that.
Another little miscellaneous connection that they had that wasn't related to any part of the album, because like I said, it was kind of broken down into like the cover, the inner sleeve, this song, that sort of thing.
Sorry, I'm still laughing about the thought of like zombie Diana. Sorry.
There have only been 2 women named Diana to appear on the cover of Time magazine: Princess Diana and actress Diana Manners in 1926. Manners died on June 16th, 1986, which is the release date of The Queen is Dead.
Oh.
So then
a little bit of a stretch. Right?
Yeah. Oh, there are many. There's a lot of reaching going on here. Like, really
I feel like all of it is reaching.
Yeah, it really is.
So there was so like I said, there was an entire section devoted to kind of dissecting the lyrics, but also they would go through. They would post the lyrics and highlight all the lines where there are letters that spell out Diana. But
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
that's
yes.
Yeah, you could find any word.
Yeah, I mean, it could be
probably.
a D at the end of this, and then, you know, like like 15 words later, oh, there's an I. You know, like nothing crazy there. But they have
Or crazy the fact that they like took the time to do that.
Oh yeah,
every single instance,
And
like
lining up the photos
every
and-
lyric. Yeah. But what I did find kind of interesting is the 13th word on side 1 that Morrissey sings is arches. The 13th word on side 2 is smash. Diana's car smashed into arches formed by the support pillars of the underpass.
I feel like I'm going to hell for laughing about that.
I know.
There Oh, and there was this movie that came out in 1992 called No Place to Hide. There's a scene where one of the characters is holding a CD copy of The Queen is Dead. The film shows a woman's fatal car crash not long after that scene. Before the opening song on The Queen is Dead, the title track, there is a clip of the song Take Me Back to Dear Old Blighty, which is a song about soldiers stationed in France wishing to go back to England. Diana was killed in Paris and her body was returned to Blighty, England. I know these rules. Every time I read one of these, I'm just like, oh.
Like, how long is this website?
Oh, there's a lot.
It took me
Days.
a lot of tries to get through it. Yeah.
That's so awesome. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, whoever made this website, did they give their name?
By the end of it, I was just like, I don't even know anymore.
Well, I'm very impressed with their dedication to letting the world know about every single coincidence.
Yeah. So then when it started going through some of the lyrics, and how they were, related or predicting that, I kind of just tried to pull some that I thought either almost kind of made sense or just were kind of interesting. The song, Frankly, Mr. Shankly, which you already went over what that's about. But there's a line, fame, fatal fame, it can play hideous tricks on the brain. It was well known in interviews and things like that Diana suffered some psychological trauma from, the fame and from like paparazzi and so a stretch, but it's
well, and then also like the fact that they were like being chased by paparazzi and it ultimately led to
and that's
death.
what happened. Yeah. And then another line is, but still I'd rather be famous than righteous or holy any day. She actually died 5 days before Mother Teresa. I didn't know that, but I guess I remember when both of them died, but I didn't think that it was so close together. So, and then kind of continuing on that, the song I Know It's Over, there's a line, oh mother, I can feel the soil falling over my head. So Mother Teresa died on the eve of Princess Diana's burial. Like, symbolic.
Yeah.
There's a light that never goes out. I think that one kind of made the most sense because it is about a car crash. Yeah. And it was actually the only Smith single to be released exclusively in France, where she was killed. The Flame of Liberty Monument, a light that never goes out, was constructed in France in 1987 above the underpass where Diana was killed 10 years later. And this ended up kind of becoming like an unofficial shrine to her.
Did you see the part about where they talk about the Alma underpass?
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Oh, Alma Matters. Okay, so this is a wait, what is Alma Matters? Is it a Morrissey record?
Yeah, let me see. Okay, yeah, so just weeks before her death, he released a single, and it was called Alma Matters, and that's actually the underpass which she died.
Okay, I didn't know the name of the underpass.
There's so many of these little threads. I also think it's really funny that the website's called DianaMystery.com. So is that the one that you were looking at?
Yep, okay. That's the one. And I tried to do a Google search for it instead of clicking the link from the message that I had gotten from the friend. It so I just like typed it into Google and like it doesn't come up.
Yeah,
it's like so I guess this person was also thinking everybody wanted to know, well, like, how is it that Morrissey could have predicted this? What is, what kind of power does he hold here? Apparently in 1980, and this was in a quote from a Smith's biography, Morrissey saw a fleet of flying saucers. This event had strange effects on him.
Wait, fleet of flying saucers.
Fleet.
That's like the best band name.
Yeah.
FOFS. Fofs.
Yeah. Fleet of flying saucers. It's like, you think you're going to say fleet foxes, but no, fleet of flying saucers.
Yes. A lot less sad.
All the songs are about Mars attacks. No,
So yeah, this apparently this was a thing that happened, and it had a lot of strange effects on him, including predicting the death of Diana, I guess. I also saw that.
So his flying. So his him seeing a fleet of flying saucers. God, that's like so fun.
Abilities.
Yeah. So apparently they definitely made their presence known to enlighten him that he had the power of predicting famous people's deaths. Wow,
That is absolutely 1000% what happened.
that's I believe the story 100%.
So, and then it also said that in 1946, the first experiment transmitting signals between Earth and space was conducted. Does anybody want to guess what this project was called?
Diana.
Oh,
Project
shit.
Diana.
Oh shit! Now I'm just getting like flashbacks to the movie Contact.
Oh, okay. Let me just read it. Okay, all right. If this isn't enough to convince you, go back to the Smiths single, There's a Light That Never Goes Out. We're going to go back to that for a second. The lyrics are about two young lovers driving in a car late at night who fantasize about getting killed together. The song also mentions a darkened underpass and ends with Morrissey gently repeating, There is a light that never goes out. There is a Light That Never Goes Out was never released as a single, except for France, where it went on release in early 1987. Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, it was just, that's so weird because that's just such a well-known, but I feel like, I don't know, singles are kind of weird with like British bands. Like a lot of times it's like, here's the single, it's not even on like any album. Everybody releases singles collections.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's just how things are.
It's fascinating.
I know in a 1984 interview, he talked about his fascination with Oscar Wilde, James Dean, and Bill Fury. And when they asked him, why, he said that because they were all doomed creatures that had immense success, their lives all ended sadly. And he said it had inexplicable appeal for him, which kind of, I think that would also work for Princess Diana. Mm-hmm. She definitely fits in with that group. But
Morrissey loves James Dean. I love the video for Suede Head where he goes to, what's the name of his hometown? That's in
Manchester?
Indiana? Not Manchester.
Fairmount.
Yeah.
James Dean.
Yes, yes, James Dean.
I know.
So,
I know a girl that's related to James Dean.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, Megan.
If you guys have been to the
that's
museum,
right. Yeah. I actually I went there with a friend because we were like, oh yeah, let's just like, we've never been there. Morrissey was there, and like actually there's a record store there that has like a photo collage on the wall that's like Morrissey was here, and it has all the pictures of him, like the photographs of him like shooting the video and stuff, and they're just like the taken out of the envelope from Walgreens, like original like photos.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, no, my favorite part of that video is he's like playing bongos in a field of cows.
Sounds legit.
He really loves those cows.
Yeah.
The cows are pretty cute.
They are cute.
They are.
He's just like soothing them with.
cute.
The cutest cow I've ever seen in my life is in this like 3-second shot in the movie Wild Hearts Cannot Be Broken, like that Disney film about the girl that rides horses off into pools. But there's like, just at the beginning, there's like this really cute cow, and I'm like, the fact that I know when it is in the movie and that I still know after all these years.
So that you have a favorite cow. It's like favorite food, favorite color, favorite cow of all time.
Favorite cow of all time. And he's just like, meow, and I'm just like, ooh, like fell in love with cows because of that cow specifically. So if you're ever like, I'm gonna watch Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken.
I remember watching a lot of that though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you guys watch the episode of Black Mirror called Hang the DJ? Mm-mm. Okay, yeah, because Morrissey song, but it's, I don't know, you have to watch it, but it's one of my favorite episodes. Do you guys watch that at all?
I don't.
I watched a couple of the episodes. I watched like the one with the pig and
oh yeah, that one's weird.
yeah, that was like the first.
Everyone's
like the
told
very
me to
first
watch
episode.
it, but I'm waiting till like there's like a month where somebody doesn't tell me to watch it, and then I'll start it. I don't know why.
I made the mistake of telling like the owner of my company's son, because we were talking about Mr. Robot, and I was like, oh, you might like Black Mirror. It's pretty dark. And I sent him an email later saying, warning, don't watch the first episode first, watch the second episode and go back because it's the, the pig one. And he didn't read that. So then he and his girlfriend thought I was like super weird after that. Yeah.
So there was a issue of Pop magazine in 1998. The interviewer asked Morrissey what his reaction was upon hearing about the death of Princess Diana, and he said, "It was so predictable. It was expected."
Oh, snap. I wonder if that's when the spark for the author of this website was like, oh,
maybe
he knew.
He's had like a long hatred of the monarchy as well, so I wonder if it was because he thought maybe they had something to do with it. Because I know that was a big opinion at the time, because I know my mom, she was like super into that whole thing, and she loved Princess Diana.
A lot of people, man, like I work at a hair salon and people still talk about it. Like it's a thing. Like, and people are like obsessed with like her children and like, well, the royals just in general, but they're like
the next generation.
But it's like every time there's like something about her kids, like it mentions her. Like Diana would be so proud. It's like, you don't know.
Constantly pictures online too where they compare like an outfit that Kate or Meghan is wearing to like something that Diana wore in the past, like saying like, oh, inspired by Diana, and you're like, they probably
just went shopping and didn't like memorize the entire wardrobe catalog of their like deceased mother-in-law. Like
and then I just like every time I go to the grocery store and like look at the cover of National Enquirer, like every time I just glance at it for probably the last like 5 years, like the Queen's always on the cover, like looking real pissed about something.
It's legit.
I remember reading, about her death, that there was a power surge because everybody turned on their television, starting at like 4 a.m. when they started broadcasting, and their tea kettles, because, they were just glued to their TVs after seeing that, that happened to her. That's kind of interesting.
There was a power surge because everybody's TV
and tea kettles were on at the same time. Wow.
Yeah. I kind of vaguely remember. I was only like 9 when that happened.
I was like in 6th grade,
and I guess I didn't really understand. Like, I didn't really follow royalty at that age. I guess I wasn't really.
The only thing I knew about Princess Di, like when she died, because I was like only in 6th grade, was like, we had been making fun of the way that she waved for a really long time. And then I was like, oh, that's the person. But that's all I knew.
I remember her hairstyle was pretty popular. She was kind of known as a fashion
I totally
icon.
had that haircut in kindergarten. Not gonna lie. My mom chopped all my hair off.
I know my mom like followed the divorce pretty thoroughly too.
Really?
Because it was pretty sad because he had been having an affair on her for a long time, and she married him really young and was actually really in love with the guy. So it was kind of a tragic story, and it's funny too because did you guys ever watch or read about the Duchess, or what's her name, Georgiana Cavendish? Mm-mm. She was a relative of Princess Diana's, and they had like kind of the same story where, they married young to like a terrible person, and then it ruined their lives. Dang. She died young, but she didn't die as young as Princess Di.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just kind of like, it's like, this Elton John song is pretty powerful. This must be a big deal. Like I said, I didn't really know who she was. Oh, and she has a Beanie Baby.
I definitely. Can we talk about that Beanie Baby for a second?
Did you have the Princess Di Beanie Baby?
I did.
I didn't know this existed.
Okay, so this is like what brought down the value of Beanie Babies. Like, it is the Princess Di Beanie Baby. So they made a limited release, right? And then they ended up making more after they said that it would only be limited. So all these people were paying like a shit ton of money for this stupid Beanie Baby, right? But then they like released like another like couple thousand of them. So then everybody was like, well, was it the original one? Was it not? Blah, blah, blah. Like, and so like, because of that, everybody's like, well, this isn't an investment anymore. These are worthless. And that's why like it literally is responsible for like the stop. Because Beanie Babies were just like, people were like buying them like for like, oh, I will invest in this for my kid's college fund, like a stupid like toy. And it's literally the Princess Diana Beanie Baby that brought the downfall of it all.
Did it look like her?
No, it was purple and had a white rose on it.
Because it was still like the bear.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't know if maybe they did something creepy in it.
Pretty sure we just sold mine at the garage sale when my parents sold their house. And I'm pretty sure I did have one of the original ones. That they're like, this goes for thousands of dollars. It's like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Like, no, like you can list it for that on eBay. No one's paying that. No one cares.
Yeah, when Beanie Babies were popular, like there was kind of a limited amount of places that sold them. Like there was really nowhere like around my house. It was a lot of those like Hallmark stores and stuff that kind of out like Southwest and like bookstores and stuff that would sell them. And
like the only place in the mall that sold them was Rustic Hutch. Yep.
So yeah, like, and my parents were like, this is stupid and they're expensive, which is kind of weird because they were like $5. But
yeah, I don't think I had any.
Yeah, I had, so my mom would take us to the Kohl's at Southtown Mall, rest in peace. And they had like the knockoff Beanie Babies. They were actually some of them were a little bit cuter. They were,
I
and they were
definitely
2 for $5 or something.
I definitely like had a lot of them, but I would like save up my allowance, and then like when we'd go to the mall, I'd buy them and feel really cool. I still have one. It's actually on my bar cart because it's a snake, and it looks really funny. And I think I have another one too. But when I was selling all the Beanie Babies at this garage sale, like literally like a year ago, so very recent. I was like, I don't want to get rid of these because they're so ridiculous. So I only kept 2 out of like 30, but
Yeah.
it's my Beanie Baby story.
I still have all my old Thundercats action figures. Yes. I won't get rid of them ever. 'Cause
No.
I love them.
I bet those are maybe.
Yeah, they might be. I think like the Disney VHS are worth a lot of money now too. I don't know if that's just a lie, but I have all those too.
I don't know what happened to ours. I think my sister probably has them.
Yeah, I think they were sold many garage sales ago. Yeah. What I liked more than Beanie Babies, I liked like Tamagotchis and Gigapets. I felt like I remember like when we were flying to California, I felt like a badass walking around the Chicago airport because I had like on my belt loop, I had probably like 14 of them.
Were they all alive, or did you?
They were all alive.
See,
Yeah, I kept those bitches alive.
they're like back now too.
There's a guy that's had one since like the original, like the first release of them, and it's still alive.
Yeah.
How did the battery not die?
I don't know.
I'm gonna call bullshit. There's no way.
It might not be true. It could. Just
I mean,
be a
it could
fake
be on the
story.
same life, but like,
Because you could
there's just no way. Like, if my Ricky Martin
Probably.
keychain dies like as fast as it does, because I had one that was like the dos tres blah 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 Maria, and I'd just like play it every time. Like I'd be like walking to a house show, and it's like all these punk rockers, and be like, "All right, guys," and then just like blast the Ricky Martin, and people would get so pissed. But that thing died after like 2 months.
Well,
and then Lindsay got me one for my birthday.
I found one on eBay for like $11, but it does not play the same Ricky Martin song.
No,
it's a different one.
It's Cup of Life instead. But that one only lasted me 2 months as well, which is very unfortunate. I still have it though, in case I ever remember to get batteries for it.
Yeah, those little keychains were weird, and they were like the sound quality was so terrible.
But the best. All right. So, do you guys think that Morrissey predicted the death of Princess Diana?
No, not even a little bit.
Do you?
I think every single. Well,
No.
I think
No,
there's
me
only
neither.
just slight coincidences with some of these. Stuff that they picked out. I think a lot of it's reaching.
I feel like my biggest takeaway from today is the fleet of flying saucers.
Also, while he is kind of a private guy, he's also pretty outspoken about certain things and definitely likes to brag about how, smart he is and kind of, how wonderful he is in some certain situations. So I feel like if he did predict that, he would be all about saying that, oh yeah, and I predicted that.
Right. It's not like he was responsible for it or anything. He just, and I kind of don't even really know like how well supported these theories are. If it's just kind of this one person with their website, I don't really know.
I'm just like really happy that it exists.
I think if you picked any, event and picked an album of a band, I think that you could probably find something.
How do you think that they came up with this?
coincides with
Do you think they were just like listening to the album the night that Princess Diana died, and they were like super stoned?
There was a story about that actually. Not that, but
Not that.
Keep going.
But I'm like wondering if that's because like, oh man, I just ripped this huge one, whatever. And then they're like, oh dude, this song, I bet there's other things. Like I'm sure like it had to have something like that. Like I just don't see like, and if the author of this website is listening and you are not a stoner, like that's cool. That's cool. I'm just trying to like get in your head, and that's all I can come up with.
They, went to the record store before her death, and they were trying to buy an album of the Smiths, and they didn't have it, but they did have The Queen is Dead. So they bought it, and they'd been listening to it on repeat, and then she died. And they, saw the kind of the similarity between the, There's a Light That Never Goes Out and her death, and then they just kind of started looking into it a little bit more and finding other connections. So it became an obsession, I guess.
That's legit.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that concludes our discussion on whether or not Morrissey predicted the death of Princess Diana.
We also have an Instagram page now, so you can follow us, Our Music Oddcast.
Yep. And
thanks for listening.
yeah, thank you.